Welcome to Stories and Quotes Bee. One of the most powerful abilities mankind has above all other creatures is the power of speech. The power to use words to speak, to declare, to communicate something invisible and make it real. Have you ever wondered why? Why we were given this specific ability? It's not random. It's not just for conversation. It's for something very powerful. When you think of words, why do you think they're called spellings? Because within the word is the word spells. Let that land. Every time you speak, you're casting a spell over your life, over your finances, over your relationships, over your reality. You don't just say words, you activate them. So I want you to brace yourself for this teaching because I'm about to reveal something that might completely change the way you see your life and the way you speak. And by the time we're done, you won't use your gift of speech the same way again. You won't speak carelessly. You won't curse your own blessings by accident because you'll finally understand what Florence Scovel Shinn meant when she said, your word is your wand. Let's get into it. Now I want to take you all the way back to the very beginning, before the clutter, before the chaos, before we had governments, currency, culture, or even form. The world was a complete void. It was without shape, without structure, and without life. But it wasn't random. There was something present, something waiting to be acted. And the very first thing that happened was not light, was not movement, was not creation in the physical sense. It was a word. God spoke. He utilized one of the most powerful forces in existence, the spoken word. Let there be light. He didn't build it. He didn't shape it with his hands. He spoke it into being. That's how powerful words are. They precede reality. They call it forth. You've been given that same creative ability, not on accident, but by divine design. The problem is we use that gift carelessly. We speak defeat over our lives and call it being realistic. We declare struggle and call it just telling it like it is. But hear this clearly. Your words aren't commentary. They're commands. And Florence Scovel Shinn knew this. She dedicated her life to teaching people how to use this creative power consciously, on purpose, not by accident. Let me zoom in on Florence Scovel Shinn and what she revealed about words. Please pay close attention at this point because this could change how you speak forever. Florence wasn't just another positive thinker. She wasn't into fluff or empty affirmations. She understood that words carry vibration and vibration shapes reality. One of her core revelations was this: your word is your wand. Whatever you speak with emotion, with belief, you're not just saying it, you're casting it. She taught that every word you speak is a form of spiritual decree, a statement of authority. And whether you realize it or not, your life begins to organize itself around what you consistently say. So when you say, never catch a break, I can't afford that, I'm always exhausted, you're not just expressing a moment, you're reinforcing a pattern. But when you flip that, when you start saying, everything I need comes to me in divine timing, money flows to me easily and often, I am divinely guided and protected, you begin to reshape the structure of your life, not from the outside, but from within. That's the power of conscious speech. And Florence was relentless about one thing. Guard your words, because they're not just noise, they're seeds. Seeds that grow into habits, into beliefs, into circumstances, into your future. But if I ended it here, I'd be doing you a disservice because there's something deeper that Florence taught, something most people completely overlook. It's called the law of substitution. And once you understand, never let a negative word stay in your mouth or your mind unchecked again. Here's how she explained it. You cannot always control your thought, but you can control your word. And eventually, the word impresses the subconscious and wins out. Let that sink in. You can't always stop a negative thought from showing up, but you can choose not to give it the mic. You can substitute it. You can override it with something aligned, with something true, with something powerful. This law is simple, but it's everything. You don't fight darkness. You turn on the light. So the next time you catch yourself saying, I'm tired, I can't afford that, this is hard. You don't shame yourself. You don't spiral. You just say, cancel. That's not my truth. And then you substitute. I am renewed and energized. Everything I need is already on its way. I move through challenges with grace and power because your words aren't just thoughts spoken aloud, they are spiritual blueprints. And Florence Scovel Shinn's entire body of work points to this truth. You speak it and then you see it every time. First thing to do, catch the current. Before you can change your words, before you can speak power, truth, and alignment, you have to become aware of what you're already saying. Most people live in a constant stream of unconscious speech. They say things like, I'm so tired, I never have enough time, money doesn't come easy, this always happens to me. And they don't think twice. Why? Because it feels normal. It sounds casual. It's what the people around them say. It's what society calls just being honest. But here's what they don't realize. Every word carries a frequency, and that frequency is either supporting your expansion or silently sabotaging it. Whether you're aware of it or not, you're already casting spells with your words. Little commands, daily declarations, invisible scripts. That's why step one is catch the current. Not to judge it, not to beat yourself up over it, just to observe it. Here's your practice. For the next 24 hours, I want you to become the witness, the observer of your own language. Listen not just to what you say out loud, but to what you whisper when no one's listening, to what you mutter under your breath when you're frustrated, to what you say in your mind when things don't go your way, to the words you use to describe yourself, your finances, your day. Because here's the truth. You can't change what you don't catch. You can't shift energy you're not even aware of. And for most people, their words are on autopilot, but that autopilot is flying straight toward limitation. So today, slow down. Catch the phrases, catch the tone, catch the pattern. And when you hear yourself speak something that doesn't align with who you're becoming, something rooted in fear, in lack, in old programming, pause, take a breath, and say it with me. Cancel. That's not my truth. That phrase is your interruption. It breaks the loop. It snaps the spell. It gives you the power to pivot. This isn't about getting it perfect. It's about getting present. Because this is the first crack in the old frequency, the first spark of awareness, the moment the unconscious becomes conscious. And when that happens, you've already started the transformation. We're not rushing this. We're not skipping steps. We're retraining the field, retraining the mind, retraining the frequency you broadcast with your voice. Because once you catch the current, you can begin to redirect it. Second thing to do, speak the opposite with intention. Now that you've started catching the current, you're becoming aware of what you've been unconsciously saying. But awareness alone isn't enough, because if you stop at noticing, you leave a void. And nature, it hates a vacuum. The universe, your subconscious, your energetic field, all of it seeks direction. So if you remove a limiting phrase but don't replace it, that void gets filled with the next thought, the next habit, the next vibration, usually more of the same. So step two is where the shift begins. This is where you take your power back. You don't just silence the old, you speak the opposite on purpose, with intention. Florence Scovel Shinn called this the law of substitution. She said, you cannot always control your thought, but you can control your word. And eventually the word impresses the subconscious and wins out. That's a bold statement, and it's deeply true. Your thoughts might pop up automatically, but your word is a choice. And that word, it carries weight. It reprograms, it imprints, it sends a command to your subconscious and to the universe. So when an old pattern shows up, you don't argue with it. You don't spiral. You don't analyze where it came from or why you're still thinking it. You overwrite it. Here's what that looks like in real time. I'm so tired. I am renewed and energized. I never have enough. Everything I need flows to me with ease and perfect timing. Things never work out for me. Everything is always working out in my favor, even when I can't see it yet. I'm just not good with money. I am learning to master money with confidence and clarity. I feel stuck. I am supported, guided, and moving forward with ease. At first, it might feel awkward, forced, even fake. Do it anyway. Why? Because your subconscious doesn't need you to feel it to believe it. It needs repetition. Let me break it down. Repetition creates rhythm. Rhythm creates familiarity. And familiarity becomes your new default identity. This is how you rewire your reality. One phrase at a time, one declaration at a time, one moment of intention in the middle of chaos, doubt, or fatigue. Don't just think affirmations, speak them out loud, with presence, with power, not as a wish, not as a desperate please, but as a command. You're not begging the universe, you're partnering with it. Because this isn't about pretending life is perfect. This isn't toxic positivity. This is about programming your energy to match your higher truth, even when your circumstances haven't caught up yet, and they will catch up because they're responding to your frequency. So here's your move. Anytime you catch yourself speaking something out of alignment, stop, pause, say it again the way your future self would say it. Substitute it out loud with intention, because your subconscious is listening, and so is your future. And the words you speak today, they are writing the reality you'll wake up to tomorrow. Third thing to do, anchor it daily. Awareness is powerful. Speaking the opposite is transformational. But without consistency, it fades. Old patterns creep back in. That's why step 3 is anchor it daily. Florence Scovel Shinn didn't teach this work as something you try. She taught it as a spiritual discipline. Your words are not just affirmations, they're commands. And just like any command, they need to be reinforced. So here's what anchoring looks like. Start your day with your words. Before you check your phone, before you scroll, before the world floods in, you flood yourself first with your truth. Create a short set of power declarations, not long, not complicated. Just 3 to 5 truths that align with the life you are creating. Say them out loud with conviction. I am fully supported spiritually and financially. I expect miracles today. Divine order is unfolding in everything I do. I speak only what I want to see. My word is my wand, and I use it wisely. And throughout the day, whenever energy dips or doubt creeps in, or you feel yourself slipping back into old language, return to your anchor. Speak your truth. Re-enter. Realign. Because you're not just trying to stay positive. You're training your field. You're commanding your subconscious. You're building new neural pathways. And you're aligning your vibration with the very life you've been praying for. Florence called this impressing the subconscious. You're pressing new patterns into the deepest part of your being until they become your new default. And here's the thing, this doesn't take hours. It takes intention. 5 minutes in the morning, 1 reset during the day, 1 affirmation before bed. That's all it takes to begin shifting your reality from the inside out. Let me leave you with this. For the next 7 days, treat every word you speak as if it's shaping the next chapter of your life. Because it is. What you say becomes what you see, not instantly, but inevitably. So slow down, speak on purpose, and speak like your future depends on it, because it does. If you're serious about mastering this, there's more coming. We're just getting started. Hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and in the comments, type I speak with power, because your reality is already listening. Make sure it hears the right voice.